Boom, boom, boom. Hey, you guys, how the heck is it going? David Hayes with Hayes Moto. Woo, it has been a hot minute since I've said that. Jeez. First of all, I want to start off by saying thank you to everyone that has recently, or well, maybe at this point not so recently, but is still relatively new to the channel. We just hit 250. Woo! We are halfway to 500, which is really freaking awesome. We're grinding our way to 500 so we can monetize this channel. Of course, it doesn't help when I'm taking big long hiatuses like I did. Hey, it's not my fault. I was sick, and then, you know, there was some nice days, but I was sick on those days, and then work's been really weird, and life's just been a big roller coaster. Of course, we are just keeping along for the ride, and I actually have a nice little story. I was out for a ride yesterday, or well, actually the other day, not yesterday, but the other day, and I had a nice little incident happen, and I wanted to share that with you guys. But first, I wanted to thank you. And of course, if you are new to the channel and you guys are here for the first time, or you've checked out a few of my videos and you're coming back to see what's up, a like, a subscribe, maybe a share would be really awesome. It would help us in the algorithm a big time. Like I said, we are trying to grow and grind at this channel. I was really hoping for it to be a little less traffic. On my way out here, it was pretty dead. I also had both my cameras prepared to set up, but when I went to go start filming my intro, I realized that I forgot to charge my mini camera. So again, still rookie mistakes, but that's what happens when you fall out of the vibe. You get out of that consistent, regular motovlogging routine. Your batteries just die and you don't realize it. So my bad, but that's okay. But yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And let's get into the story. Actually, before even that, I want to say, if you guys have been parked up all winter, or even if you've been riding all winter, we're starting to get into some nicer weather now. Definitely make sure you do your spring maintenance. Check your tire pressure, check your oil, check all your fluids. If you did all your winterizing preparization, your bike should be, for the most part, good to go, but definitely check your tire pressures. I checked mine the other day, and they were both hovering like around 25 PSI, which I was gonna go jump on the highway, and I was like, maybe I will check my tire pressures, and I'm glad that I did, because that could have been bad news bears if I would have got on it with those tires as low as they were. So definitely check your tire pressure. It's going to be my first caveat before getting into my story. Now, it is interesting because on one occasion in a story I shared earlier, a little while ago, I was heading out snowboarding with a buddy, and he ended up being the one being pulled over by the cops, not for doing anything wrong, but just for having his insurance lapse on his vehicle. And now I get to share my own very same tale of doing that myself when I was out of town doing a band gig. And you know what, my insurance was just running up on my truck, so I knew I had to get that taken care of. So I was like, you know what, my bike's still insured, or so I thought. I'm gonna just rock that out to the gig, go do the gig, and you know, just rip around a little bit at night before I ride back home. I was looking to really enjoy myself on my ride. Well, I get out to the gig, no problem. I gas up, I drive, get on the highway, bombing, everything's all good. A little bit windy, but it's a beautiful day. We rock the gig. I do the sound, and the sound was on point, if I do say so myself. We had the audience just vibing out, singing along, dancing. It was a great night. And luckily, your boy's responsible. Look, when I'm working, I don't drink, I don't partake in anything extracurricular, so I mean, I'm straight, I'm clean edge. I just had a Diet Pepsi that night and some water to keep me going, keep me hydrated. So, like, I'm not too worried about getting any sort of DUI or, being in any sort of not good condition to drive. I certainly was good to go. My bike's good to go. I had a good drive out there. It's been a good night so far. And so I go and leave the bar at the end of the night. And I did notice some cars parked down the road from the exit, but I went the other way, so it's not like I drove past these vehicles. But one of them decides to start tailing me, and I get up to a set of lights and I make my turn, and it's still tailing me, and I get up to the next set of lights prepared to make my turn, and I notice this vehicle parked a good distance behind me. And it was actually kind of a little bit bothering me because I tried to wave the vehicle forward because they weren't sitting on a pressure sensor, and it's just one of those annoying lights that if you don't have a vehicle sitting on the pressure sensor, you're kind of going to be sitting there for a while for that light to change, especially like it's 12 at night, so there's not regular traffic to cause the lights to do their regular cycle. And I'm just here sitting on my motorbike trying to get this light to change for me. But whatever, the light changes. I go through the intersection, and like it's clear road, so your boy enjoys cracking on the throttle a little bit. So I gave her bolts. I gave her a little twist, and started taking off. And the next thing I know, I did have the sense to at least check out my mirrors before I really gave her and started going, because I knew there was a vehicle behind me. I'm not trying to be irresponsible. I'm looking to have a fun ride home. It's late at night. The streets are dead. But, I still have at least enough common sense in me to be aware of my surroundings, which I am glad that I did, because I had my headphones in, and I certainly wouldn't have heard any sirens or anything, but I did see some flashing red and blues immediately behind me as I took off through that intersection. And now, of course, I'm worried. What did I do wrong? Did I get going too fast? Like, did I do something that caused this cop to be pissed off? Or is he just checking to see if I've had any drinks, if I'm good to drive, and whatever? And if it's that case, then, hey, like, no problem at all. I was a little bit not too concerned. I mean, my mind was cycling on all the potential that it could be that I could be pulled over for, but I really wasn't too worried because I felt, yes, I was starting to take off. I only got up to about 65 kilometers or so I was still within the speed limit. If he would have waited about, 5 more seconds and just hung back a bit, he probably could have nabbed me for a little bit more than what he did, but ultimately, I had my headphones in, so I couldn't hear the officer as he first came up, so I announced to him, a single officer, that I had my headphones in and that I was going to have to reach into my pocket, and I was pointing at everything as I was expressing, hey, I got my headphones in, I'm pointing at my helmet, I'm going to reach into my pocket, I'm pointing at my pocket, just to let the officer know, like, hey, I can't hear you right now, and I got to turn my music off, and the only way to do that is I got to reach into my pocket right here, and yeah. So luckily he was cool. I think he was, happy that I was at least announcing what I was doing so we could have a clear, straight form of communication between one another and have an understanding about why I'm being pulled over. Of course, immediately once I turn my music off, the officer proceeds to tell me, well, I got some bad news for you, which is never a good thing to hear. Do you know why I pulled you over is something else. But when they're immediately starting off with, hey man, I got some bad news for you, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my heart kinda dropped in my chest. Just a little bit. I was like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. How do you have bad news for me when I didn't do anything? As far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, like, I am good to go. Brothers. Oh man, there's been a lot of bikers out in the last 2 days. It is awesome. The sun is shining and everyone is just ensuring their two two-wheeled beasts pulling it out of the garage, dusting the dust off, and there's been a lot of riders out these last couple days, so that really excites me. I'm excited for this season, and really excited to like get a full season of motovlogging with you guys, and really just I'm also excited for my riding. I can feel a huge difference now in my riding and my comfort and everything, even now compared to when I first started riding all those many months ago. So I'm really happy, really excited. Hope you guys are excited too for this season. Of course, you do want to follow along. Remember, hit that subscribe button because that would be really cool. Anyways, back to the story. You know, I'm just, my mind is like, what the hell? Okay, like, what's the bad news? We're not even having a conversation, and you're already telling me there's bad news. So I'm just like, okay, well, what's that, sir? And he's like, yeah, your insurance is out. And not just like a little bit out, it was like, it was out. Now, I'm not trying to incriminate myself. I'm not trying to, you know, whatever. I hope this does not get me into trouble by talking about this story. You know, luckily everything, I guess maybe I'll preface this with, everything is insured now. I am not in any sort of violation while riding. Everything's all good. Everything's up to date and all that. So we're all good to go right now. This is a story that happened and it's been taken care of. So hopefully I'm not incriminating myself by talking about this, but anyways, or getting the officer in trouble for the outcome of this story, because he did me a big solid. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll get to that. I mean, we can't get ahead of ourselves here too much now. So at this point, I'm asking the officer, like, I can feel my blood pressure rising, and I'm just like, sir, do you mind if I like just take my helmet off, you know, and just really like, you know, get some fresh air here? Because after knowing, or after dealing with this with my friend, immediately when he was saying that I have no insurance, I kind of knew automatically what the potential of that could be. It's, you know, potentially upwards of like a $600 fine, and you're not supposed to drive your vehicle. You know, you got no insurance, you got to park it, and you know, if you can get insurance on it, good, but if not, it's you know, you got to keep that sucker parked. You're not going anywhere now. So I was definitely worried. My heart dropped in my chest. You know, I'm a good little ways from home. If I was close to my house, I'd maybe, you know, just push my bike and make do. You know, they always say you want to have a friend that you can call at 3 in the morning. And though I think I might have a friend that I could do that with, a friend or two, but like at the same time too, I'll be real in saying like not really. Like, you know, I could maybe call them, but do they have the ability to help me actually like get my bike home? I guess that would be the thing. I can call them, but they really wouldn't be able to help me move a motorbike. So I knew I was kind of f***ed, to say the least. Excuse my French, but yeah, I knew I was doomed in that case, and you know, I wasn't gonna make any excuses. I wasn't gonna ask the cop to let me off or kind of be like, hey man, you know, just this one time. You know, I knew that is my bad, that I needed to you know, be on top of that. It's my job as the owner operator of the vehicle to make sure everything's up to date and roadworthy and all that. So I knew it was my fault. I wasn't gonna ask the guy for any sort of leeway. You know, I was just gonna take responsibility for what had gone on. But I simply did state to the cop, I was like, look, sir, like, you know, I just, you know, I know that, you know, I can't drive my vehicle, but like I'm a long ways from home, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I can't really call anyone to help me, and also, you know, it's like 12 at night. So like, what? I asked him, like, what would be your suggestion for me to do in this situation? I'm not looking to break the law, but I'm not quite sure how I'm going to get out of this situation either right now. So if you could give me just a little advice, a little bit of something. And this is where the cop really showed, like, you know what, I treated him with respect, you know, very much like, you know, yes, sir, very like, you know, clear, concise of communication, very respectful communication. I never have an issue with cops. I don't mind them. You know, I might be a wild punk, but, and sometimes I might need to be looking out for them. But at the same time, too, I am not offended by them being there. They're doing their job. They're making sure that everyone's being safe and they're looking out for people. I really think that ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, as much as I was a concern on the road because of insurance reasons, you know, I kind of have a feeling they were looking for some bigger fish to fry that night. They were looking for people that, you know, really shouldn't be on the road, that are not just a hazard to them, but maybe a hazard to other people around us. Oh, we got ourselves a ninja with us. Ooh, okay. So yeah, you know, it's kind of distracting now. I got a homie with me. He's wearing a shoey. Ooh. But yeah, this is where the cop really got cool, and I think through that sort of respective communication between us and just whatever, the cop said it like this: I'm gonna see if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And when he said that statement, I was just like, oh, okay, interesting. What's gonna happen here? And he's like, I'm going to go on with my night, and kind of whatever happens, you need to be safe. And basically, like, you know, kind of the cop was really kind. You know, he let me get home, which was really cool, because, yeah, he could have just been like, nope, kick rocks, dude. Like, you park your bike and you figure it out. But yeah, no, instead, he actually let me, or I shouldn't say he let me, I should say, he went on with his night, and I went on with my night. And my night involved me getting home safely, very safely, and respecting all the rules of the road, certainly. And it allowed me to get, oh geez, sitting here with my signal on. And it allowed me to get home and get my bike insured. And yeah, so I got extremely lucky. Now, I don't know if that story incriminates me, or would, if somehow someone figured out who the officer was and all that, if it would get him in trouble. Certainly I hope not. This is more so just like a candid tale of, you know, show respect, and you might just get lucky. You know, own up for your shit, just be honest about it, and, you know, maybe you'll have to pay the consequence, and that could really suck, but, you know, you also might just get a little bit fortunate and have someone who's cool and respectful. Again, I think they're looking for bigger fish to fry. You know, it was my bad. Again, my mistake. I should know when my insurance is up. I certainly do not advocate for driving underinsured or with no license or without proper registration. Absolutely make sure all that stuff is up to date. I was really, I was upset because, you know what, I have a really good driver's abstract. I've actually never gotten a ticket or an infraction for anything, and I do a lot of driving in various different vehicles, and of course now on my motorbike. And so, you know, I've been very fortunate that way, but yeah, you know, you never know when something can come and nip you in the butt, whether it's something that could happen on the road with another vehicle, or even just some sort of little bit of maintenance. And I would almost say insuring your bike and making sure everything is registered and up to date is kind of like a part of maintenance, just because, yeah, you kind of need to take care of that stuff in order to ride, or at least ride legally. Now, I do know that there's a bunch of people out there, not a bunch of people, but there is a particular group within the biker community that are willing to risk it all for the biscuit. You guys are crazy. I mean, I love seeing it. Some of you guys are crazy riders. But yeah, I'm definitely not one of those guys. I could never be one of those guys. I don't mind risking it, but I don't think I really want to risk it like that. But yeah, you know, we've been out, we've been having a good time riding. I have gotten some days of riding in, but yeah, it's been a little bit tricky lately, but with nicer weather happening more frequently now, hopefully, as we enter into these spring months, I'm sure I'm going to be out here a lot more. I'd actually like to film another little bit today, maybe even like a parking lot learning your clutch session video, but yeah, I spent a little bit too much riding around and enjoying myself, that I think now at this point, I think I want to get home and hang out with the dogs and make myself some food, and I'll, you know, just save filming that video segment for another day. I'll get home and get this edited and get this up online. And yeah, hopefully you guys will be seeing a lot more of stuff from me coming up here soon. Yeah, hopefully we will keep it coming, keep it going. Of course, like I always say, I want to keep the content consistent, but I'm also going to be organic with it. You know, it's I got to make sure I'm taking care of my life first, and life is needing a lot of attention right now. There's a lot of, I don't know, it's been a challenge. I'm not going to get into that because I don't need to bring that to this channel. Just it's been a challenge. It's been an interesting time for your boy Hayes Moto here, but one thing that I love and I look forward to getting out to do as much as I can is getting on my bike. Of course, some days I do ride and I don't share it with you guys because I'm not just a clout rider. In fact, I probably ride more not filming than I do ride while filming. So you guys maybe only see about 20% of, not even, probably like maybe 10% of my riding, 5%, I don't know. Something like that. I try to get out as much as I can. Because I love this sport. And I love the time on my bike. It truly is throttle therapy for me. And you know what? Even though, you know, even for myself, I will admit the cost of the insurance on my bike is I was a little bit teetering on whether I should actually even spend the money on insuring my bike right now. That was not any sort of reason why the bike was not insured. It just simply was not insured because I had unfortunately lapsed on my insurance and kind of goofed in that way. But yeah, there was a slight hesitation whether I should actually be, you know, concerned about it. Maybe I should wait a little bit longer and whatever. But I can't. You know, I couldn't. As the weather gets more and more beautiful, even if cash is a little bit tight for myself, I 100% think that it's worth it for me to have my bike insured and get this time on here. You know, money's just a thing. It comes and goes. Sometimes I have more of it, sometimes I have less of it. But one thing that is important to me is not the money, but the enjoyment that I have in life. And having things that keep me happy and keep me entertained, and nothing keeps me happier and more entertained than my motorbike, except for maybe my dogs. My dog, you know what, I have to put my dogs in first place because long before I ever had a motorbike, I had my dogs. So, you know, dogs first, motorbike second. Oh, geez. I don't know. I should probably put my mom somewhere on that list, I guess, because I love my mom. She never watches my videos, but hi, Mom. I love you. All right, though. I think we are going to wrap it up here. I'm still going to go riding around. I just don't need to yap at you guys any longer than what I have already, because you guys are all fantastic, beautiful people. Again, if you haven't hit that subscribe button for me yet, please consider it. It helps the channel big time. We are grinding on that road to 500. We just hit 250. In fact, we just hit that today or yesterday, depending on when I get this video edited and uploaded and out to you guys. So, I mean, the grind is real. I love it. I love you guys. I love talking to you guys in the comments. You are great. And even the silly, funny comments and the, you know, you guys absolutely are allowed to joke at me and joke on me, and hopefully I get the joke. Sometimes I miss them. Sometimes I might be a little bit snappy in my response, but a lot of the time I don't mind allowing myself to be a little bit of the butt of the joke, or you guys are absolutely allowed to kind of make fun of the silly things that I say, because I do say silly things. So it is perfectly okay, and I absolutely love it. Look, engagement's engagement. Hell, if you guys don't agree with me, and even if you don't like me, just start telling me that in the comments, because as far as I'm concerned, the more comments, the better. But all right, we're going to leave it there for you guys. You guys are all fantastic, beautiful people. You can peace out. David Hayes, Hayes Moto. Love you. Bye.